What a great stadium, and there's the French side this afternoon. A lot of experience in that pack, but Magna left out. Were you surprised by that, Jerry?
Nothing surprised me in the professional era. I mean, he played very well in the World Cup, but I suppose Laporte's thinking that he didn't probably front up in the last game at home against Italy, and when you have a bad performance, someone's got to get it somewhere, and unfortunately Magna got it.
Mind you, Livermore, Arinordiki and Betson's not a bad back three, is it, in the scrum? And there's the back division, and it's so key that Elissalde and Michalak gel at half-back. What do you make about them, Sean?
I think Michalak's a key, really, and him coming back into the side, they lack direction, if anything, against the Italians. And he'll drive the forwards, obviously, and get them going forward, which is key with the French, and especially playing the Welsh today. They're going to totally dominate them.
I think we're very quick to criticise in the media, and I think these guys are young. Let's give them a season or two to have the opportunity to direct their side, and I think these two players could be world stars.
Well, let's face it, if that back division stayed together for 3 years, what sort of a team are they going to have in 3 years' time for the next World Cup? In France, of course, let's forget. OK, talking about France, let's get a French perspective on this. Philippe Saint-André is on the touchline with Sonia McLaughlin.
We're enjoying a rousing rendition of Bread of Heaven at the moment, which Philippe might have heard a lot of if, rumour has it, you were going to come and coach Wales. Is that true?
No, I am not interested at all. I think the Welsh job should be a Welsh coach. And also, I signed 3 years deal director of rugby of the Sharks.
Now, Wales, it has to be said, have become a little bit like the France of old, a bit unpredictable. What do you think they have to do today to get the right result here?
Yeah, I think it's true. It's a very exciting team, but I think the set piece must be very good today, because I spoke just before with David Ellis, the coach, and the French will try to put a big pressure on the set piece and expectedly on the scrum,
France have won 2 out of 2, as we well know, the only team now who can win the Grand Slam, but they've played in patches so far, haven't they? Will they have a point to prove here today?
Yeah, I think a lot, and I think it's not a weekend to be a favourite, So, and also Bernard Laporte dropped Olivier Mann, and he put overweight in the forwards, and he will try, I think, to go forwards very, very quickly. And I think the French guys are very focused because they can win 3 games consecutively, but must be careful.
And will France have taken note of what Ireland achieved at Twickenham and double their resolve not to slip up here in Cardiff?
Oh, I am completely sure, but I think the key will be the start of the game, because if the Welsh start to get some points and to be in front after, it will be tough. But I am sure that the French coach Bernard Laporte is very focused. It's a big opportunity to do a Grand Slam this year, and I think the French guys will do the job today.
Well, we'll be hearing from you throughout the afternoon. Enjoy the crowd and the atmosphere for now, thanks.
All the time, the atmosphere here is unbelievable.
Well, there's a man halfway up the grandstand, and I hope he knows what he's doing, but he and his mates are about to unfurl a giant Welsh flag, and then they're going to abseil down from the roof of the stand to the ground, which they did against before the Scotland game. Very impressive it was too, and a great way of pre-match entertainment. Sonia mentioned there, when talking to Philippe Saint-André, Sean, whether yesterday's matches will have any bearing on today's game, because in a funny kind of way, if there was going to be an upset come Friday, or 2 days ago, you might have thought, well, Wales might upset the French. But you kind of think now, after what happened yesterday, it's less likely, if you know what I mean. I think that kind of sort of contorted logic.
I think if you look at the French now going with that mindset of if they win this game, and they've obviously got a good chance of winning the Six Nations. I think Laporte has said pretty clearly, by dropping Magna, etc., he's had enough of the way they've been playing, and today they've got to front up. And I think you'll see a very committed forward performance from the French, and they'll go out there and they'll give the Welsh a good strop up, I'd imagine.
Jerry, if you've been in a team that's been thumped so resoundingly as the Welsh were 2 weeks ago, it doesn't matter what you've done in training over the last fortnight, how, when you walk out on the field today, do you replace what must be negative thoughts with a genuine positive belief that you can beat the French?
I think it's very hard. I mean, the Welsh have some experience of trying to rebound back from heavy defeats. It's down to Hansen, but then the guys are looking at a coach who's going to be leaving at the end of the season. So what do they actually take from him? I just think the whole we hark back, but I think the whole state of Welsh rugby is in a poor position, and they're not helping themselves. But I think that the only thing they can draw on for this game is that they played so well against Scotland here, and if they can find the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions and the passions that they had for that game, then they will perform well this afternoon.
And it's easy to overplay these things as well, but Men of Harlech being sung at N decibels, a sea of red supporting them, there is still that passion for the game here. Yeah. And for heaven's sake, the guys who are on the pitch this afternoon are playing for all these people here.
They can all play rugby. There's not a lot of difference in terms of the quality of the players on either side. It's how they come out of that tunnel and how well they're prepared, really. And if this doesn't motivate them, not a lot will.
Thoughts on how it's going to turn out?
I think the French will be kind of lackadaisical as they've been throughout the tournament, and they will probably just scrape a win.
Sure.
Well, I'm hoping we'll see the French play, the rugby we all know they can play, and I can't see the Welsh beating them really.
Okay, well, the beautiful blue skies that we had here over Cardiff have been replaced by threatening grey skies. Let's hope that we don't get the sort of rain shower that we had at Twickenham yesterday before the game, which must have had some bearing on matters there. Our commentators this afternoon on the third leg of what's been a fascinating weekend so far are Nick Mullins and Jonathan Davis. And before we head to them, let me remind you, of course, about the interactive service. If you've got that red button on your television, then press it for everything you could ever want to know about what's happening here at the Millennium Stadium this afternoon. Nick, all yours.
Thank you very much, John. Yeah, the weekend has already been one in the eye, hasn't it, for those who reckoned you could somehow genetically engineer a Grand Slam finale on the final weekend. Now, if Wales and Colin Jarvis can beat France, what a boost that would be for those who think this famous old championship is at its best when it grows organically. John mentioned the weather. It did feel more like Paris in the spring than Cardiff in March about an hour ago, but it has got a little greyer overhead, but there's hardly a breath of wind down on the pitch. That pitch, despite hosting the Football Cup final, is in perfect condition. Perfect condition for the likes of Mark Taylor to do his stuff, and there's Michael Owen as well, winning his cap at the expense of Robert Sidoli, who's been sent out to get some match fitness back with the provinces. Well, so many questions and so much relying on the performance of the pack, which just didn't turn up in Dublin a fortnight ago, Jonathan.
Well, no, it's all about, international rugby's getting over the gain line, and they didn't have any ball carriers in Ireland, and they played very lateral, very difficult to attack and very easy to defend against. So Colin Jarvis, I think, will have a major influence on that aspect of the Welsh game. They've all got to pitch in, because Colin Jarvis is not going to make a difference. They've all got to turn up and play today, because I'm sure the French will keep it tight with those two big centres, and Lieberman won't be selected.
Time for the choirs and the band of the Royal Welsh Regiment. Pointing out, I've never seen so many French people in Cardiff before an international. They've come in their thousands today.
They do enjoy coming here. I don't know why. They just hospitality's fantastic.
by Catherine Jenkins. And they aren't short of support here today, Wales. A flag that's almost half the size of the pitch is brought down from the stand. The hopes of a nation. One-time British Lion Mark Taylor replaces the injured Sonny Parker in the Welsh midfield, but it's out wide where Wales will pose a real threat. Rhys Williams will hope to recreate his 2-try performance here against the Scots, rather than the neuter display in Dublin. 4 changes in the forwards, the most significant the return of skipper Colin Jarvis. He's at 7, so Martin Williams waits to be sprung from the bench. For the French, bruising centre Damien Traille passed the fitness test this morning. He plays, as does the rather fortunate Christophe Dominici after his one-man comedy show against Italy in Paris. Freddie Michalak can be sure Wales will test the sore shoulder. The big news up front, the dropping of Mania. Imanol Arinordaki gets a run in the unfamiliar position of open side flanker.
One, two, three.
Colin Jarvis back to skipper the side and clock up cap number 66, his dislocated finger mended. I think the Welsh nation has just about recovered from the disappointment of watching England lose yesterday. Now it's time to deliver a black eye of their own to another of the world's big 4.
Yeah, I don't think it was yesterday's result. It was the one in Dublin that was the major disappointment, and the way we performed. I have no doubt we will play a lot better, and we will need to. But as I said, the French will come here. They know if they keep it open and loose, it'll be a tough game. So I would think that they would try and keep it tight. And as I said, use those 2 big centres. And if they go in front by a couple of points, they might open up then. But it is going to be a very, very interesting game.
35-year-old from Sydney, Stuart Dickinson has the whistle. Paul Honis, the referee, yesterday amongst the touch judges. And a suggestion of a knock-on immediately from Jonathan Thomas. He wasn't under enormous pressure, but immediately the French will have the opportunity to challenge from the scrum.
Yeah, lack of communication. It's very difficult. 72,000 people screaming, but the guy running onto the ball should claim that ball.
The free kick has gone against the French for just trying to be a little eager at the scrum there, so having been given the chance to put early pressure on that Welsh front 3, Wales have the ball back. And it's picked up by the fullback Nicola Brusque. Marcanet held up just short of halfway. The French haven't really clicked so far this tournament. There's much for them to prove as well. And this is Damien Traille, who proved his fitness this morning, having recovered from a severely bruised leg. He hasn't trained much this week, and that's a good try from the forwards, and they've done well, Wales. Lots and lots of question marks about that pack, and they've won one of the first challenges, and they'll be delighted.
Engage. Come up, please.
Yeah, confidence booster. Bit fortunate in the scrum to get a free kick, but that is a superb drive. They held him up, didn't release the ball. Now it's an attacking scrum for Wales.
Oh, Gareth Cooper.
Great play by Betson.
Was immediately tied up by Betson, yeah. Absolutely no time to move. Service has got to be sharper. And from that, hands in the ruck from Mark Taylor, and it'll be a penalty to the French. But it's what the Welsh pack have to do. They were quiet, weren't they? They were on the back foot for much of the game a fortnight ago in Ireland, and Bernard Laporte, as he watches on, knows if the threat's going to come from Wales, then it has to come first of all from the pack.
They should have taken that. There's a bit of space there. They should have taken it. The ball bounced. It's a very, very poor kick, and I think that Michalak hasn't really stamped his authority on many games. The World Cup games he did play well were against the lesser nations. Against England he's very quiet, and he hasn't really performed. You've got to put pressure on him.
Taken by Arinordaki in the line-out, and they don't waste time getting the backs going. Michalak involved, and this is Joe Dion, and already Brusque is there. Oh dear me. And Rhys Williams needed to be on hand because Christophe Dominici really scented blood there.
In saying that, he creates an overlap straight away, Michalak, but good play by Rhys Williams, doesn't give up on it, and just gets in the intercept. But no, a big line out for Wales. You know, we all remember what happened in Dublin. They've got to defend this, because I'm sure that they will go for this driving line out.
3 Irish tries came from similar situations. We all remember Shane Byrne 2 weeks ago. That's better from Wales. They immediately got the shove on as soon as the French jumper came to ground. Aaron Nordicki tries to splinter off, but it was a dummy. This is Elissalde. Cooper on that occasion was alert to the threat. Palouse. Ball was dropped backwards.
Stay back, please.
Now then, Michalak. Back inside to Josian, who is an enormous figure in midfield, and Try was there as well. And the ball will come back on the French side. It'll be a French scrum, but from that particular line out, Wales holding firm.
That was a lot better. A lot better.
Yeah, we just crouch and hold.
And that will give the forwards a lot of confidence. They attacked the jumper, they isolated him, and I'm sure that Sean Fitzpatrick in the studio will have a look at that. He'll be a lot happier with that defensive line out.
A defensive scrum now, and the French don't hang around. This is Livremont back in the side, in the starting lineup for the first time in 4 years. Michalak, always a threat when he has the ball in hand. Has he been isolated himself then? No, the French managed to burgle it back. This is Palouse. Straight into Harris and Jones. And the penalty goes against Wales. Got to come through the back door in that situation. You can't come through the side. Having held out defensively, the French will have the simplest opportunity to garner the first 3 points of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think he wasn't binding, so Mr. Dickinson says.
It's interesting to see that Jean-Baptiste Elissalde will take the kicks. He took them in the absence of Michalak 2 weeks ago. And he was solid enough against the Italians. And he will continue on kicking detail, the man from Toulouse. Five minutes gone, first 3 points on the board go to the French. Jean-Baptiste Elissalde, Wales 0, Bernard Laporte's France 3.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. I think Wales will be quite happy that they only came away with 3 points.
He's been talking this week, Steve Hansen, about trying to remain positive after what happened in Dublin. Hide in their hotel room the night of the match. They went down, met the fans, fronted up. There's been a good attitude at training this week, not too many glum faces. They're trying to be positive here. They want to take the game to the French and not worry too much about that early setback as Josian finds touch.
Yeah, the scrums will be very interesting, you know, because you've got Marcanet against Gethin Jenkins. Number 6, I think he gave the penalty against Jonathan Thomas for not binding. When he had his back to him, very difficult to see if he was binding or not, the referee.
Good early take for Wales. Trying to readjust a little bit in the line-out with Mevin Davis coming in. Robin McBride struck low by a bug. Davis was training with the team yesterday. It was a little loose in the forwards, wasn't it?
I think it was Brett Cobain who just lost the ball. This is very dangerous.
Michalak then lining up both sides. He's back to his left. It was asking an awful lot of Bruce. And Bruce lost the ball, but the referee, Stuart Dickinson, comes back for an earlier knock-on that he'd spotted, and the French will have the scrum.
Yeah, no advantage. First offence.
Engage! Stay on! Advantage, offside again. 6, releasing early.
Number 6 is Jonathan Thomas, who left that scrum too soon. So again, we're playing the advantage. Will the French need it? This is Josian. Been a busy little beaver in the opening minutes of the match. Pascal Pape was driven back in the tackle. Gethin Jenkins just having a word or two afterwards as well. Psychologically, one up for Wales, but they'll come all the way back for the earlier penalty anyway.
If you look at the scrum now, watch the number 6 on the top of your screen. He's not binding, he's broken, the ball is still in the scrum.
Jonathan Thomas, 21-year-old, experiencing the French in a test match for the first time today. And I do believe Damien Try, from about 500 miles, is going to go for the 3 points. Colin Jarvis has suddenly realised what's happening, and he's heading back to the posts. He does have a howitzer of a right boot, but this is all of 55, 56 metres on the angle. He didn't seem to make the best of contacts, but he still had the distance comfortably, but for the direction.
Yeah, he is a big kicker, Try, and I just think he tried to give it a little bit too much and pulled it.
An early test of his bruised leg. Suggestion that he's not worrying too much about it if he's attempting penalties from his own half. Shades of Paul Thorburn all those years ago.
Play on, it's across the line.
It's charged down by the French. Jones clearance.
Stay back, please.
Fortunately, coming back on the red side. Cooper, and again Betson was there hurrying, and he's not going to find touch. Here's Brusque, Livremont inside, and straight into Jenkins, and a combined challenge from Jarvis, but the shove comes on from the French.
Stay back.
Dominici acting at scrum half. Elisal knocked on by Michalak. Williams. Advantage being played. Williams almost up to halfway. This is Harris. Shane Williams. Dickinson say the advantage has gone.
Stay back, please. Touch a step.
Cooper. To Jones. Back to Owen. Again. Knock on from Marcanet.
Good hands getting Jenkins.
Still being held up inside their own half. It's Gareth Thomas who goes to ground. Oh, interception, but they'll come back for the advantage. And there was a bit of offside in the French midfield. Offside against Imanol Arinordiki.
Clearly offside, they were playing advantage. There they are, Arinordiki is way offside. The ball was out when he went for Gareth Cooper. Unfortunately, he wasn't behind the last foot.
Colin Jarvis have a word there with Stuart Dickinson about some perceived French skullduggery in the line-out. Who they're supporting. Jones with his own attempt at a monster kick. Oh, that's magnificent! Magnificent! There is not a breeze to speak of. It was all about direction from Stephen Jones. And he squares things up. 12 minutes gone, 3 each.
Superb kick, Stephen Jones. Great camera angle. That is a long, long way. Keeps his head, strokes through it. Just gets over. Superb kick.
Securely taken in by David Jones.
Back, please. Take a step, Brad.
Here's Stephen Jones. And that spirals magnificently into touch and takes play well within French territory. A terrific 60 seconds for Stephen Jones.
Is that a smile? I think he had a curry last night, maybe.
Please. Take a step. Stay there.
I went to the pictures last night. Wales winning the line out. This is so much better from the pack. And it gives backs like Iestyn Harris confidence to really take the French on. Jones, lining up on that left-hand side. Brett Cobain went low. Cooper. Jones, the French up very quickly, but this is Harris inside to Williams. Dragged down just over the 10-metre line. Back to Harris again, who takes on Michalak, tries to get the ball out of the tackle, but in doing so, just knocked the ball forward.
That's a lot better, a lot more patient. If it's not on to go wide, there's a big forward to ball carry over the gain line.
We'll do a blood change for him, Pete. Do a blood.
I think Colin Charlie took a little bit of a nosebleed.
He will leave the pitch to be replaced by a man who many shrewd judges here reckon should have been playing from the start. Martin Williams. Many have questioned the decision to drop him to the bench.
Yeah, I think by his reaction of the crowd, he's played very well, but he didn't play well in Ireland, and he had no qualms about being dropped. And he's picked a bigger back row to combat the French selection, a big French pack.
Stay on, 16.
Williams is on now. It's a real squiff from the fullback Nicola Brusque. Just seemed to pull a muscle in the process as well. Just a little painful, that one.
Well, a lot of players, if they've kicked badly, feint an injury, so maybe it was a bad kick, and now he's jogging quite nicely along the 22.
It's a Welsh line out. They've shortened it, and it was attempting to find Michael Owen at the back, but Aaron Ordicke, who is such a poacher, just managed to flick his right hand around. And the French have the penalty.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
There's the clear out. The ball isn't out. Mervyn Davis puts a tackle in.
Pick up the ball. Stop us fighting there. The ball was out. Just pick.
It's hard in the heat of battle there, isn't it?
Yeah, there is slight interpretation between the northern and southern hemisphere referees. The southern hemisphere want the ball to flow, want the ball to get out, so if it is there, leave the scrum half have it. Whereas in the northern hemisphere, if the ball is out, you can go for it.
Yeah, I'll get it, mate, I'll get it.
A dreadful line out from William Servat, but it was a knock-on from David Jones, so we're playing the advantage here, and now they'll have the penalty.
At no stage did you release the tackled player. You must release him first. You went straight to ground with him.
And Jonathan Thomas told in no uncertain terms the reason for that penalty.
What is it?
That's another penalty given away by Jonathan Thomas. Got to keep the discipline.
It was one of the watchwords of Hansen in the build-up to this match that they do have to be a little more mentally flexible than they were in Dublin. They've got to think on their feet a bit more, but they can't encroach either, because men like Elisalde will exact the points. Two penalties within kicking distance have been converted by Jean-Baptiste Elisalde, and the French are back ahead 6 points to 3, 16 minutes gone here in Cardiff. It's more of a contest though, isn't it? They'd conceded 2 tries by this point against Shanburn and Ireland. Much more revved up.
Cross forward, accidentally in front. No, we just hold there. Engage. Just crouch and hold. Engage. Oh, stay there. Arms up. Binding, please. Binding. Just crouch and hold.
The word with Jenkins and Mark.
Stand up. Closer, please. Engage.
Well, Dickinson is a referee who is known to want to get on with things, and his patience is being tested by the French front row, and that's a penalty. So while they let's see what, I'm sure that Stephen Jones will go for goal. So let's have a word with Philippe Saint-André, who's down on the touchline with Sonia.
Philippe, I know you've been using your contacts with the French team, getting some inside track on the way France want to defend today in particular.
Yeah, you can see that the French player put a big pressure in defense, sprint to go forwards very quickly. And because I spoke with David Ellis, and he tried to get some turnover, because he says if the French players get some turnover, after there will be very good ball to score a try. So I think the French guys are very focused about the defense and also the scrum, but there are too many mistakes for the French team at the moment.
Thank you.
That's another effortless kick from Stephen Jones. 2 out of 2 for Stephen Jones. And no sooner had the French nudged ahead again than they've been pulled back. 6-all, 18 minutes.
Striking the ball really sweetly.
And he's moved within 6 points of Paul Thorburn, who stands second at the moment in the all-time Welsh scoring tables. Neil Jenkins is way out in the bright blue yonder. And this is Mark Taylor. Much more fizz though about Wales. Cooper. This is Michael Owen.
Well, I don't think Gethin Jenkins get on the outside of Dominici somehow.
He's a big boy, but the muscle was provided by Fabien Pelouse as well, and there was a certain inevitability about that.
There is Gethin Jenkins, you know.
Take them all with you.
First game,
They're Wales. Take them all
really
with you.
tight, and there he is on the tighter side. Look, that goes down. Penalty goes against France for not keeping the scrum up. I think they will try and put a lot of pressure on Gethin Jenkins, especially with McBride as well, you know, dropping out this morning.
Servat. Unconventional, but effective. Up to the 22 already. And this is Pape. Colin Jarvis waiting anxiously on the touchline to come back on. Michalak, they're all lining up to the right-hand side. Josian held up just short of the 22. Still French possession. Elissalde. Try. This is Servat. Back inside to Dominici, but just look how many red shirts are there.
Stay back.
Elissalde scrabbling to win the ball back from Michalak and his mates. That's a terrific tackle from Michael Owen. In fairness, Nicola Brusque rather signalled his intent, and then I think he hung on to the ball, and that penalty was won by the tackle of Michael Owen.
And that's a big tackle. Gets the shoulder in the right condition. Hands to the joints behind behind the knee. It just picks him and drives him, and that does raise the side.
He's winning his 11th cap today, Michael Owen. Injured just before the World Cup, which was a real shame, because he could have been one of the stars at the World Cup, just beginning to rev into gear. And as you can see, the skipper is back on. He's been stitched up. I dare say we'll see Martin Williams again, though, before the match is out. Welsh line out on the halfway. Evan Davis is working well so far. Oof. Taylor castled by his opposite number, Josian. Cooper. This is Owen. Now Jenkins up to the 10-metre. There's a little loose, but it went backwards, and Wales have men over here if they can get quick hands. This is Cobain driving into the heart of the Welsh defence. Williams, Thomas up to the 22. Owen again. They are taking the battle to the French.
Play advantage.
Cooper. Rhys Williams. Iestyn Thomas.
Play advantage from the
now
side.
The support needs to be there. Wales will have a penalty. They would love a try.
The short on the right-hand side, France. ball was held up once again. They slowed it down. And if someone might go to the bin here, they've been standing offside.
Across there, just lying there, not moving. In here, player straight from the side, killing the ball. Round the back, please, through the gap. Yeah, number 1, straight to the side.
Marcanet was the man who was fingered, and Fabian Palouse got the naughty boys report, but it's so much better from Wales.
A lot better. There's yes, it's almost. There was Brent Cobain earlier on.
And for the first time in the match, deservedly, Wales are ahead. Beyond the halfway points in the first half, it's Wales 9, France 6, 3 Stephen Jones penalties, and he has pulled alongside Paul Thorburn as Wales' second most prolific points gatherer. Michelak restarts, taken in neatly again by Davith Jones.
Stay back, please.
First taste of the threshing machine that is the French back row a year ago in Paris, Davith Jones. And everything at the moment that Stephen Jones is touching turns to gold.
Here we go. This is the ball. This is what they didn't do against Ireland. As the ball comes out, there's Rhys Williams. The ball comes to Rhys Williams, and if we stop it there, just watch this guy there. There he is. He's going to just come on the inside ball of Rhys Williams, and if we run it on, there we are. Nothing on. Bang, inside ball. Just gets over the gain line, and that's what Wales want.
Here's Owen, who is making a big impact at the moment, and that's the halfway line. Jones to Harris, lovely hands from Taylor, released. Williams, but terrific hands. Thomas, Taylor, Thomas, and then Shane Williams, and they very, very nearly found the key to the French door.
Very, very good hands. Guignol, and this is a basic skill. This is it. Mark Taylor, give and take. And Gareth Thomas tries to hold clear. He's got the pace just to get Shane Williams to put the kick in.
Attacking lineouts. Has been practicing these all week, Kevin Davis, and they did well. Now the drive comes on.
Space on the left, got a goal.
Space now being filled by Shane Williams, and it's a penalty again to Wales. And at the moment, the French pack have no answer to the forward challenge.
Well, someone's got to go to the bin now. I think that's about the 5th offence. They've slowed the ball down, encroached offside. He's got to give him a warning now. Someone's got to go to the bin.
Well, having garnered 9 points already, we've been talking about Paul Thorburn's record. This kick to go into second place on his own. Only Neil Jenkins has now scored more Test match points than Stephen Jones, but of much more significance this afternoon, the Welsh are deservedly 6 points clear. 25 minutes gone. They lead France by 12 points to 6.
Deservedly so.
French just varying the kickoff. Ball went forward, but it was off a knee, according to Dickinson. And Lassalle not quite connecting with Michelak. And the French haven't really been connecting all tournament so far. They did enough to beat a fairly lacklustre Ireland on the opening weekend, and you can see the mistakes creeping in. This is the fullback Brusque. And he finds a good clearing kick, but Well, a bit like England, Jonathan, there have been just one or two too many question marks over the French so far in this championship, and serve up there was the man who couldn't gather.
I think it was a poor pass by Michalak. There's a lot of inside balls. You know, they just got to tighten up a little bit, France.
It's been 8 years since Wales beat France here in the championship. Squeezed past them by a point in the days of the old Arms Park. The stadium looked very different then.
And that start is very, very encouraging for Wales.
Quite stemmed the flow of the blood, so Martin Williams will come back on temporarily.
Well, they will want Colin Jarvis back on, so a couple more stitches, a lump of Vaseline, and on he comes.
Davis throws long, went much too long, and Betson gathers. This is try. Josian outside, there's a hole there for Josian. Goes straight through it, half held up by the fullback Thomas. For the first time in a long time, the French are threatening in Wales 22. And it was Josian who created the panic. But there was a big hole for him to go through. But magnificent play from the pack. Wales have won back that ball. And it's cleared away by Jones. And it rouses the crowd as much as a try might. Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Another opportunity squandered. A superb scramble defence, and the forwards did immense then. Turned the ball over, relieving kick, but the pressure is still on.
Servat then throws long, flicked off the top, but it wasn't straight.
Not straight first.
At the moment, Fabien Pelouse, the skipper, has a bit to sort out.
No, we just crouch and hold, engage.
The Welsh scrums under enormous pressure there, but David Jones was alert enough to get the ball out quickly, but then he hung on to it too long. Penalty to France.
Isolated, let it go, mate, he's above you. Get going back to the touch judge, please.
First worrying signs, though.
There's his line out. Stephen Jones is dragged in, and all of a sudden he didn't know what to do, drift or come in, because Stephen Jones was out of the defensive line. Did well to get back to the forwards.
They decided to run the ball rather than go for the 3 points that were on offer. And they may be regretting that now. We've seen that expression just a little too much over the course of the opening weeks of the RBS Six Nations. Two Gallic shrugs around this magnificent stadium. Taken in by Pape. Try and get the drive on. Wales, as we've been saying, working on that line-out defence, and it's effective. Michalak, little dink over for try to run onto. And Thomas had to be very alert. He did that well, and there's a huge gap. And Williams racing up to put pressure on Brusque, who in the circumstances did about as well as he could.
Oh, that ball could have bounced anywhere. It was a lovely little kick. Gareth Thomas does exceptionally well. You know, he's big and strong, very aggressive in going for the ball.
Half an hour gone, and on this weekend of shocks, Wales lead France by 12 points to 6. Clerc takes the ball and then very swiftly finds Shane Williams inspecting his ribs. Michalak trying to spread the ball as much as they can. Try though, held up by Harris, and Wales again win possession, and again it's David Jones. Rhys Williams. Cooper. Williams. Cooper. Jones managed to get the ball away, but you could see how ferocious the French tackling is. First from Betson and then from Aronordicki. They weren't really going very far, Wales, so Jones puts boot to ball. And Christophe Dominici needs to be careful. Or maybe there's time for some brilliance. Marcanet was on hand. It's a penalty to the French, but it was brave from a man who's already provided one of those question of sport, what happened next moments in this tournament so far.
Yep. Backed his pace. There he is. Captain Courageous is coming back on.
When you know you're lying on it, just don't leave it.
There he
That's
is.
attractive. That'll go down well in the clubs on St Mary's Street tonight. So as long as it stops his conch from bleeding, that's the main point at the moment. Holding his head together with sticky tape.
Phantom of the Opera.
Immediately, he's got some defensive duties to do, Chavis.
And release.
French just beginning
No hands.
to find a little bit of rhythm and enjoy a bit of possession in the danger areas. Josian again.
He's the danger man, he's the ball carrier.
Michelak.
Onside.
No one in particular. Needs to be well fielded by Williams, though. Kept his eye on the ball, coming over his shoulder, and he did well.
Yeah, it's a poor decision again by Michelak. Again, I just feel that, you know, he hasn't really performed against the bigger nations. Michelak performed very well against the lesser nations in the group, but you know, against England he did crumble a little bit, and now the bigger side I've spotted him as a weakness.
Well, let's maybe get a view on Michelak from Philippe Saint-André, who's down watching him on the touchline with Sonia.
Philippe, is there a question mark over not just France right now, but Michelak in particular, do you think?
Yeah, it's true. We have a lot of mistake. We didn't have enough patience. I think the kicking strategy is not good at the moment. Also, the French team have the opportunity to take 3 points. We didn't do it. And I think it's true. Michelak must catch the ball, must try to have maybe a drop goal, and also too many mistakes. I think the French team at the moment make too many mistakes to win the game.
Thanks.
It's the view of the former French great Philippe Saint-André, the newly appointed director of rugby at Seis. Finding his trade back in this country again. Servat with the line out on the 10-metre. And this is try. Betson, another hole. Plugged momentarily by Jones. But they're already into the 22. Here's that man, Michelak. Try. And Brusque coming back in on the inside. Michelak again. Wales have been caught offside. They're playing the advantage here. Livremont. Half juggles, then knocks forward, but it really matters not. Will come back for the earlier penalty for offside against Wales.
On the side.
This is what you can't do. There's nothing really on you. There's a short ball. Yestin Harris got to step in and smash him. You know, he just missed the tackle, and straight away it's behind the gain line. You've got to make those tackles.
So Alice Elder. 2 so far. And in the final 5 minutes of the first half, this to trim Welsh occasion, not on that occasion. It wasn't the most difficult of kicks. But he cut it wide, and Wales still have that 6-point lead.
Yeah, you can't. They're not very happy, are they? That's a poor kick. As soon as he hits it, he knows he hasn't hit it right in the middle, you know, and that's a bread and butter kick for an international kicker.
Here's the enigma that is Michalak, and here's Livremont. Back in Cardiff 8 years after his debut against Wales, and Michalak did well there, and they are using Josian a lot to try and punch those holes, but that Welsh defence is remaining firm. And a bit like some of those rather brutal bouncers on the nightclub doors, there's no way through in Cardiff at the moment.
Well, it's the inside ball which they've overplayed, I feel. Welsh defence are not lazy on the inside. They're organised and they're just picking up the inside runners.
Scratch and hold, engage.
See if the French can pressurise the front row. Well, you saw the shove there. Marcanet on Jenkins, but Wales were alert to the danger, got the ball away.
There he is.
You can't get up and go again. Got to place the ball.
Now this is a big,
Mate, you're holding on.
big 2.5 minutes here. You know, they get good field position here from this kick. And again, you know, that ball bounced into touch. The back three have got to work as a unit.
You can't crawl along again, mate. You just got to drop it. You just start moving again.
They've got, as I've said, they've got to work as a unit because the ball has bounced into touch on 2 occasions from a direct penalty. You've got to cover the space where the kick is going to go.
The line-outs have been a bit of a lottery so far, as that statistic will tell you. Pape, though, wins it for the French. And again, all that hard work on the line-out defence comes into use again for Wales.
No, don't take the legs.
Wales have
Take the legs.
held the first thrust. Here comes the second. Has a bit more bite about it.
Hands away.
A minute and a half to the break. Can Wales hang on to this lead? Michalak takes the outside route. Vincent Clerc. They can't hang on. Ari Nordicki.
And that all came from lack of discipline in the opposition half. Very good change of direction by Michalak. There's Michalak, you know, Clerc goes first, Michalak then goes with him. And there's only a prop there. Gareth Cooper gets stepped. And Harold Donaghy, there he is. Comes blind. Harold Donaghy strolls over. And that's one thing he is good at. He is good at broken play, he is good at running. Doesn't control the game as a standoff. I still think he plays like a scrum half at number 10, Michalak, but on broken field running, extremely dangerous.
This for the lead, and it's a dagger through the heart, isn't it? All the hard work of the first 40 minutes. Imanol Aronordicki, couple of tries in the great wide open against Italy, and now one against Wales. And right at the death, at the end of the half, Jonathan, the French retake the lead.
Well, you can't give, you know, penalties away in the opposition half because a good kick finds good field position and they attack from it, and that's all it was. I think Wales totally in control of that most of that first half, but just shows how dangerous this French side can be. Given the opportunity, they can score tries, so they'll be bitterly disappointed to go in at 1 point behind. But it's still anyone's game, and Wales' performance is a lot better from a fortnight ago, so a lot to play for in the second half.
Half-time in Cardiff, Wales 12, France 13.
Well, until that try right at the end, it was a tale of 4 penalty kicks to 2. That was a great strike from Stephen Jones, wasn't it? So he was leading 4-2 against El Asal until this try right at the end. Jonathan Davis called it absolutely right, didn't he, when he said 2.5 minutes to go. It was a big 2.5 minutes for Wales because they had to go in at half-time with a lead, and A momentary lapse in concentration, a good break by Michalak, and Haranordaki scores going round the blind side. So that means it's 13-12 at half-time. What does Philippe Saint-André make of all that? Here he is with Sonia.
Philippe, just before that try was scored, you said to me this is so important for France to take advantage here, but do you think they fully deserve to be in front?
No, it showed it was very important to score this try. I think Michalak had a poor first 30-35 minutes, but after he creates this try, with the French team score 1 point in front half time. I think it's very important because the French team had so many mistakes. Michalak was not well in the game, and I think this will be very good for the confidence of the team for the second half.
Will Bernard Laporte be fairly calm in the dressing room, because he has every right to be frustrated with his team because their discipline has been poor, hasn't it?
Yeah, it shows the discipline was poor, and also the line-out was very poor for 30 minutes. The hooker, the throw was not a good quality, but thanks God the last 4 minutes was good. I think Bernard Laporte must be pleased to be in front half time, but I think the kicking strategy also must change. I think the French team must play more in the half of Wales in second half.
Wales though, Philippe, they're still in this test match, aren't they?
Yeah, are very, very dangerous when the Welsh team gets the ball. Very dangerous, good skills, good hands. But after, I think Wales start to be in trouble in scrum. You can see the last two scrums, the Welsh team was in trouble. And I think during the game, more Welsh will be in trouble in scrum. I think this can be a key of the game.
Well, we'll see. Just a point in it, John.
We'll talk about the trouble in the scrum in just a second, but well, there's the facts and figures for those of you who like the minutiae of it. I mean, very even Stevens really in passes completed, errors made, 9 apiece, turnovers 7-2 though in Wales. Favour negative, you see what I mean? That's a key factor. 4 penalties to 3 conceded. We had the line-out statistics just before the half-time whistle went there, which also was very interesting. That as with yesterday, Sean, just before we see the try, I mean, it's a lottery, the line-out, isn't it? There was 60% on both throwing in, so you've almost got a 1 in 2 chance of winning the opposition line-out, which transforms the whole game.
Very good, John. You've been always.
Almost.
I think what that shows is that teams defensively are spending more time on their defensive line-outs, and the French, if anyone, are as good as that as anyone. But yeah, it's an important part of the game, and as we saw yesterday, it can turn a game. You're losing opportunities when you've got the ball. But I think the Welsh have done pretty well actually at line-out time. They're winning most of their own ball, and they're doing well at scrum time too.
Okay, well, we'll focus on how well the Welsh forwards are playing in a moment or so, because I mean, the performance vis-a-vis today and a fortnight ago is extraordinary. Mm-hmm. But that try, I mean, talk about transformation moments. This could be the key moment come 40 minutes time, Jerry.
Well, Jonathan called it, and it was an important 2 minutes for the Welsh to hold on, and it kind of half came from nowhere really, because you didn't expect them to kind of get there, because I thought the Wales team would hold on, because they have shown some strength in the coordination. But here there's just one defender on the blind side, and it's quite open space there, and the French have had the nous really to kind of see it called. Bit of a dummy run first there, and then Michalak. The Welsh went to sleep. It's the last period of the game. You really do not want to fall asleep.
I think it's probably a reflection on the defence that the Welsh have been doing, scrum time, line-out time. They're doing a lot of defending and done pretty well, and I think just as Jonathan said, that last 2.5 minutes is key going into the break.
Yeah. Was Michalak, do you think, originally going to go open there, and because the pass was a fraction behind him, he thought, I've got to go the other way?
I'm sure it was planned.
Really?
Oh, yes.
The way he's played, he doesn't even know what he's going to do. So.
Well, I mean, it could have been very different if France had scored very early on, because the floodgates might have opened. And did they blow the chance here, or was it good Welsh defence?
I think it's a good defence, especially by Williams in the end. But good wall of defence, and then Taylor is kind of exposed. He doesn't know where to go, and there's a big gap there again, and run it on. Michalak just runs into it and brings in Taylor, and this is where the French are good, just quick passing. But Williams has just carried on. I mean, a lot of people would stop, but he just carried on, and he received the pass. So just snuffed it. Good defence.
They've only had 1 or 2 opportunities really to score, and that being one of them, which they didn't convert, and the one 2.5 minutes from full time, which they converted.
Yeah. The Welsh attitude has been different. I mean, we could pick out any number of incidents from the first half, showing the way that they've been competing so much more strongly in both the line-out and the scrum. I mean,
as we said at the start, they need to go into the game with confidence, and they've gone in there. They're saying we're going to take the game to the French, and they've done that. Admittedly, their first scrum wasn't great, but barring that, they've really taken the game to the French, and you'd have to say that the scoreline suggests that obviously the French are winning, but you'd say that the Welsh have probably had the better of the first half.
There's a massive turnaround in their performance.
Where they were 2 weeks ago.
That tackle that Michael Owen put in on Nicolas Brusque, in a sense, was summed it up, didn't it? This is a different approach altogether.
I mean, coming from a forward in the middle of the park as well, which you don't really expect. I'm always criticising.
That sort of reminds me of Jerry, really, in terms of the tackles. But that, once again, that just showed the commitment, and they were there. It could have been a mismatch, but here we go, and he actually gets a turnover too. So
great tackles like that do inspire the whole of the team. It gets not only just your team, but it gets the whole of the crowd going as well. They see a big hit like that, and they go with it. And the rest of the team
appear to me to be a team that's built on confidence in terms of if everything's going well, they play well, they try things, they move it wide, they scrummage well, they line out well. If they get set back a little bit, they tend to go back into their shells. And in the first 5 minutes after half time is going to be really important how Hansen's got them up there. Sharvis coming off and on and off has not been great.
He looks like someone from Adam and the Ants now, doesn't he? Philippe Saint-André said that during his chat there with Sonia that he felt the balance of power was shifting in the last 10 minutes of that half in favour of the French pack in the set. But up until that point, the Welsh pack had done really well, hadn't they, Sean?
I think so. I think, as I said, they've done really well. They've competed. The line-out time, they're actually winning their own ball, which a lot of teams aren't doing against the French. But yeah, maybe in the last few minutes, the French have got on top. But I've been really impressed after seeing them 2 weeks ago in Ireland, how they've come out and performed with real steel.
Jonathan made the point as well that the French were persistently offending by coming round the side and denying the Welsh possession there and saying somebody's got to be binned. But the referee's been very reticent about doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we weren't as critical of Honest yesterday and today.
Honest.
Yes, we were one of those. But Dickinson, I think, I mean, it's difficult to go against the home team, but I think in fairness, because the packs have been so evenly matched, I don't think it's been that difficult. And I think they only offended twice in the 22. I thought it would have been a bit harsh to give a yellow card to one of the French players.
I think he's made it quite clear. Next player's going to go in the bin, but I don't think it's been an over. They haven't over-offended, and we want to see 15 against 15. As soon as we get to 14 or 13, it kills the game.
Same in any game, the first 10 minutes of the second half are absolutely key. The French have been a bit lackadaisical though, haven't they? You kind of feel if they almost focused a bit more, they would score.
They are the most frustrating.
You don't know where it's going to come from though, because they have been so loose. Yeah. That try was almost by mistake. Nothing but that try was planned.
They thought it was deliberate.
Come on, give them time to adjust.
So, can Wales win this now?
They're in with a good chance, without a doubt.
They've got to believe they can win. And if they can do that, they've got a real good chance.
OK, well, if the pack can hang on in there, and as we said, the line-out is a complete lottery at the moment, then who's to say what's going to happen? Let's go back to Nick and Jonathan.
Thanks, John. Well, England blew their opportunity to go to Paris on Super Saturday and play for a Grand Slam. I wonder whether the French might. Fabien Pelouse, well, it's hard to know whether he is more unpopular in Wales this week or Pelé. Pelé didn't include one Welsh footballer in his top 150. Pelouse seemed to dismiss the threat of Wales in the lead-up to this match. Whether something was lost in translation, I don't know. But, well, he'll know all about the challenge of a reinvigorated Wales now, Jonathan.
Yeah, I don't think he was, insulting Wales. He was just saying the truth. He felt that they were far more superior in most aspects of the game, and they should come here and win, which is sometimes very refreshing, to be honest. And it helped the motivation factor for Wales, because the press put a bit of a twist on it and said that it was insulting. But I thought he was very refreshing and very honest with his remarks.
Nothing libelous about them. And Nicolas Brusque is the first Frenchman to touch the ball at the start of this second half. And as the boys were saying in the studio, a key 5-10 minutes Just a little sense that maybe Wales are going to have to make the first move here.
Yeah, chance to go now.
And this is Shane Williams. Those sparkling silver boots over halfway. And shades of the World Cup all over again whenever he cuts through gaps like that. Cooper to Jones. Here's the other Williams, Rees. And that's centre field. Cooper to Jones. Harris. I'm not entirely sure whether he was looking for David Jones there, but he found Stephen Jones. And Wales have lost possession. And Elisalda, just a little delicate chip ahead, inviting Brusque to run on. And Rhys Williams happy to shepherd the ball into touch. And Steve Hansen.
Front man, please.
And that line out, which was well, anyone's guess in the first half.
No hands.
Was again a real challenge, and it's been stolen by the French. Michalak. And the break was by Livremont. Here is Michalak again. And Jonathan Thomas needed to be aware. Here's Betson. They conceded a try just before half-time. Wales straining every sinew. They're being stretched here. Dominici had Livremont and that man Aaron Ordicke in support. But I think it's been stolen back by Thomas, and Wales do well. They asked the questions in the tackle.
Yeah, superb tackle, Stephen Jones. Dominici went at him, tried to get on the outside of him. A tackle had to be made, and he made it. There's the tackle. Stephen Jones has got to make it. Dominici backs his pace on the outside. Superb tackle. He knew the chance had gone.
Well, the defence was stretched. And they had the big blasters out wide as well. Aaron Ordicke was there waiting for his second try. Bernard Laporte and the familiar features of Joe Mazzo to his left.
No. Keep going.
Levin Davis, the Celtic warrior, with the defensive line out.
There it is.
They need to secure this line out and get the ball away.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
They've been under pressure for the 3 minutes in the second half.
Through to the front, and Brent Cobain.
And that's what they didn't need, Nick. Throw wasn't straight. You look at it, ball goes in.
Angled straight into the arms of Cobain.
Yeah, he's in a good position, isn't he, Dickinson?
No, we're just
Some of those,
crouch and hold there.
you know, I give no case or mark. Depends on what mood the ref's in.
Wait for me. Engage!
Referee Stuart Dickinson, the Sydney sider. And that French scrum is beginning to exert some pressure, and Livremont
No hands!
with a comfortable pick and take. Michalak inside to try. Centre field, they can go right or left. Michalak's shuttling to the left. It wasn't the best of balls, and he had to gather it on the half volley, which just stopped his momentum a little. But the French are bearing down on the line away to the right.
Knock on.
That was a knock on. Wales will have the scrum, but there are one or two ominous moments at the start of this second half, not least in the scrum.
Yeah, but they need to just absorb all this pressure now and get the ball away.
Stay off in half. Quiet!
Jones is having to be busy at the base of that scrum, and it's a penalty to the French.
You're holding on.
Isolated, you know, it's just very difficult.
7 will go again, guys. Bloodbin again, 7 to the captain.
You have to feel some sympathy for David Jones. He's having to do a lot of work at the moment because that scrum is beginning to select reverse on just too many occasions.
Okay, time back on. Just to the line, guys. To the line, 5.
The man who was the fans' choice to replace the great Fabien Gaultier in the number 9 shirt. As the rain begins to fall, has this for 3 more points. The first points in the second half have gone the way of the French. They have a 4-point cushion now. Wales 12, France 16, 45 minutes gone.
Yeah, this is a scrum. It's under pressure once again. He's not, he turns, and all of a sudden he's a sitting duck there. If he turns his back, he holds on. There's 2 men in the tackle, and it's an easy 3 points.
Jones goes long. Servat gathers, runs straight into his opposite number, Mevin Davis, but there were enough blue shirts there to drive the ball over the 22. Now Michelin goes down the blind side threateningly, turning Cooper inside out, ball back inside to Marcanet. This is where they're so dangerous. And the ball went forward, and it went forward illegally. It'll be a penalty to the French.
Great play here. There's the run in the Michelin. Superb support play. Again, there's a penalty. They stole the ball.
It's Gareth Cooper just receiving some attention from the Welsh physio Mark Davis.
This is the break. He spots no one on the blind side, only the scrum half covering across. Great hands, inside ball, Marcanet. Wales scramble, great tackle, Gareth Thomas, but they have a penalty against them. He's got it.
Just, but it has been the perfect French start to the second half. 6 points from the boot of Elisalde and Bernard Laporte's men. 19-12 up.
Yeah, they've got to respond. They've got to get possession. The only possession they've had is from a counter-attack where Shane Williams made the break.
Jones goes down the middle. It's gathered in by the fullback Brusque.
Next score is crucial.
Here comes Michelin. He's happy enough just to fire it into touch on halfway. And we'll have that national lottery that is the line out in this game.
And I think Stephen Jones is carrying a little bump.
Keep going. Stay in, please.
It's interesting that Dwayne Peel is also stripping off down below. And the line out is anyone's guess at the moment.
Yes.
And Wales lose it, and Michelin now tests that defence. It's coming down on Thomas, but at the same time as Josian. And Thomas did well, gathered the ball, turned his body to present it for Jarvis to come away. And under extreme pressure, the Welsh defence really held there, and now they're on the attack. This is Thomas. Jenkins unable to hang on to the ball. And this is Vincent Clerc. And this is where the French are dangerous. They've got lots of men on the outside. Can they use them? Josian. And tackled by Jarvis.
Great tackle, Jarvis.
Thomas was waiting. Jarvis did the business for him. And the ball was free to be attacked. And the French had driven into touch, but for that knock-on from Gethin Jenkins, Wales really were pressing.
Well, the two incidents there was, one was they lost the line out, and then this is Jarvis. Another break by Michael Owen, inside ball to Gethin Jenkins. The pass will come here, and then there's the turnover, which nearly resulted in a French try.
It's an aggressive tackle from Nicolas Brusque that knocked the ball out of Jenkins' hands. Wales have made the substitution. That man, Dwayne Peel, is on. The smelling salts couldn't revive Gareth Cooper. He's off. So the Llanelli Scarlet.
Off him, off him.
Peel on. And his teammate Jones fires a magnificent kick downfield. Absolutely magnificent, but the French, as is their right, take the line out quickly, and Nicolas Brusque fires Wales back towards the 10-metre line. As Dwayne Peel won the bulk of his caps off the bench and wins his 28th today. Angled into the arms of Michael Owen. And Wales just beginning to
Great tackle.
up the pace a little bit themselves, though, aren't they? Penalty to Wales.
Well, it's very difficult to see what happened in this incident.
You're the tackler. As you lay on the ground, you reef the ball back. Don't touch it. Last time we're speaking to you guys, this is spoiling a good game with the tackler on the ground. Leave it alone or blokes will start to go now, okay? Tackler to leave it alone. Don't rip it back on the ground.
He said that he ripped the ball in the tackle. I thought he ripped it before he hit the ground. He drifts well. No, he got it right. That's very harsh, though. I think that's anyone's ball. Both are on the floor. Very harsh decision on George Young. It's a great tackle, but it gives Wales the chance to get some points back on the board and get into this game. They need to play in the French half. They need to get possession. They need to get field position to get back into this game.
If you're keen for 3 points, then Stephen Jones is not a bad option. 4 from 4 so far. He's been striking the ball wonderfully well. There's not a breath of wind to worry about, just really about the direction.
That's the angle, that's the view he has got. And I knew, every time you say that, Nick, every time you say it, the kicker misses.
I'm prepared to take responsibility for several things. That isn't one of them, I'm afraid, Jiffy. His first miss.
Missed opportunity, and he'll be, you'd expect to get that, Stephen Jones. His success rate is very high, so.
Held by Jones. Plenty of pressure. Here's Peel. Here's Jones again. Little dink on. Thomas invited to run onto it, but Ellis Sald was there, and Michalak, who's just beginning to grow in stature a little bit, isn't he? He had a really shaky opening 30 minutes, but Michalak just beginning to sense that he likes this. And the big booming right boot of Damian Traoré fires Wales back towards their 22. This is Rhys Williams.
Come back, please.
Very good play by Ellis Sald. He read the play, read the chip, and got back to cover a very, very dangerous kick.
There's a little take him on there. Take him there. Over there. Take a step over there.
And with the ball, they haven't had a lot of ball. They've had some success with the counter-attack. I thought there might have been an opportunity there for Rhys Williams, but unfortunately for him, Gareth Thompson was involved in that previous play.
Well, the nightmare that is the line-out continues, and Wales will hope to profit. Mark Taylor thrusting up towards the 22.
All offside.
The penalty will be Wales, and all that came from an absolutely abysmal throw from William Servat again. Well, it's not as if they don't practice the line out often enough during training. Hours and hours plugging away, and then in the match situation, the radar has suddenly gone on the blink.
Here we are, as the ball comes out, stop it there. There's the back foot, they're all in front of it, so they're all offside. He spots it very, very clearly. No advantage.
That's his previous attempt. This much simpler. And he does have the 3 points, and Wales have deserved that. They've weathered the French storm at the start of this second half, and now they have a penalty of their own. Approaching the 54th minute mark, Wales 15, France 19 in this final RBS Six Nations Championship match of the weekend. Bain, who's watched by his brother Matt today, Australian World Cup winner. Matt in the stands, and you will see Jones clearing to touch. But again, the French aren't hanging around. Brusque to his opposite number, Gareth Thomas. Championship debut against the French here 8 years ago, and still as strong as ever. Elissalde. Livremont takes the tourist route and gets walloped. Servat immediately enveloped by red. And Wales have upped it again, haven't they? And the French are being put under pressure, and it's what they have to do.
Great tackle again, Michael Owen, ball and all. And the noise has suddenly increased, Nick. Great support.
There he is, 9 inches taller and 7 stones heavier than the other Michael Owen you might have heard of.
Not as quick.
Which one?
I think everyone knows which was the quickest.
Off the top by Blue first.
The ball was knocked on in the line out, and it's all over the place, isn't it?
The line out. I think both coaches will be unhappy with the line out. But a little bit of luck and a bounce, and the decisions are going Wales' way now. They've got to try and make the most of it.
Stand up, come this way. Hang on.
It's a change to look on the sunny side of life. Interesting next week, by the way, where, as we see a shot of Laporte, we're expecting to hear who the next Welsh coach will be in succession to Steve Hansen. Glenchley's Gareth Jenkins has been the long-term favourite, but all of a sudden on the blind side, Harlequin's Mark Evans has come into the reckoning, so we will keep a close eye on that as Wales again under lots and lots of pressure in that scrum, and Betson comes away. The French drove them over the ball, they're allowed to play on, and Elissalde will sprint for the line. Is that the killer?
I would like to see that again, because from this angle it looks forward, but the scrum under pressure, the back row exploited. Betson was brilliant to get the pass away, and Elissalde had the pace. Let's have a look. There's the scrum under immense pressure. David Jones struggles. It's that man Betson. He shrugs him off. There he is. Shrugs him off. There's the pass. Oh, can't save from that angle. But great pace. Gareth Thomas tries his best to get there, but he does score.
And they'll be talking about the scrum. Colin Jarvis will be desperate to try and stabilise that. Elissalde, the man to profit.
It will be interesting to see that pass. But, that's what you can't do. Under pressure, any chance, they are fantastic.
And he layers on the cream. 2 extra points, 2 points that came from that creaking Welsh scrum. And here's how.
Let's see this now again. That's forward. I thought it was. I would say that forward, Nick.
Sadly, you're right. Equally sadly, that Stuart Dickinson didn't see it.
Stay back, 6 red.
So having just given the impression that they were clawing their way back into this, Wales suddenly have 11 points to make up. And Elissalde is beginning to destroy them. And it's Olivier Magnier who's come on, not the way he'd have wanted to win his 75th cap off the bench, but he's not been at his best.
Well, it's the type of game now. The game has opened up, and Magnier, will try to exploit that.
Williams, he had Thomas outside, but his first concern was to gather the ball cleanly, and by the time he'd done that, the moment had gone for Rhys Williams.
Red 8, red 1. Red 8, red 1. Number 8.
The Welsh preparing to make changes as well. David Jones has gone off, and so has Iestyn Thomas, to be replaced by Martin Williams permanently. And significantly in the front row, I think they brought Ben Evans, the big Cardiff Blues prop, on just to try and add some more solidity.
Yeah, I think Iestyn Thomas had a tough time. You know, De Villiers has been immense in the scrum, and you know, they came up on that side, which caused disruption for the try.
I'm asking you 3 times. Last feet. You're offside.
Martin Williams was caught offside. The skipper in Dublin a fortnight ago dropped to the bench, and Ben Evans back as well, back in the picture for the first time since before the World Cup. Michalak to touch, and let's have another word with Philippe Saint-André down on the touchline with Sonia.
Philippe, do you fully expect France now to close this match out?
Oh, I think so. The French team play much better in second half. They are more controlled. Michalak is outstanding. I think also with new blood, with Olivier Magne, we have more solution in the first jumper. And in second half, the French team play very well. After it shows there may be a forward pass on the try, but the French team are in control of the second half at the moment.
Thank you.
And they've got that control because they are taking control of the forward exchanges, aren't they? On that occasion, the ball came off a blue hand.
Time out.
He's not a bad player to bring off the bench. Goodness me, Olivier Magne made his debut against Wales 7 years ago. Laporte said he was just playing a little too selfishly in the opening weeks of the championship.
They haven't played very well, but they've got such strength and depth in the back row. And it's a nice time to bring him on, isn't it? The game's opened up a little bit.
We've seen Tom Shanklin coming on as well. It's a bit of a toss-up between him and Mark Taylor for the 13 shirt. Shanklin is on, and how Wales need a repeat of the brace of tries he scored against Ireland. An hour gone in Cardiff, and Wales, who have performed so much better, now scrabbling to hang on to the mountain face.
Well, this is the break. Let's have a look where the officials were. It's the disruption. Betson is there. Great pickup. Oh, he was in a very good position to see that, I felt, and it was his call. That was clearly a forward pass. Look, Stephen Jones's reaction says it all. He should have chased him actually, rather than stop mourning, but
can't complain about the positioning of Dickinson, though.
No, I can't complain about it. But unfortunately,
just the decision.
He got it wrong.
Well, he is one of the best in the world.
Line out was over.
There's still, 90 minutes to go. Wales score a try. They're back in it.
Slightly steadier scrum, but they were still having to scramble in the end, and Jarvis needed to be alert.
Yeah, I think that's where the change has been made. Colin Jarvis is better at number 8 than picking and just clearing things up.
Jones sniffed half a gap. Palouse gummed it up again. Here's Peel. This is Jonathan Thomas. Very quickly, Brent Cobain was there to help out, and now then this might be interesting. Dominici needs to be very aware because Peel's bearing down.
That was the bounce that Wales wanted, and that is a penalty for not releasing the ball. Go on.
Now let's keep an eye on this. It's taken quickly, and it's a penalty underneath the posts now because the French are offside. Now then, 3 points or go for glory.
And this is a crucial decision because they need to score twice.
There's still plenty of time, though, isn't there? Plenty of time.
Time out. Red 4, sub.
And they are going for the scrum.
Cobain is off. Gareth Llewellyn is on.
Just turned 35, Gareth Llewellyn. 85th cap, a bit of experience in this situation. Now then, they've gone for the scrum, they've gone for the gamble, they've been struggling in the scrum.
Yeah, I don't think they've got to, hang about with this ball. It's a quick strike, channel 1, back to the number 8's feet, and then he's got to go. It's got to be a quick heel to Colin Chavez, and he's got to get it and scoot.
Another penalty to Wales, and they do go quickly. Now they're going to be brought back. They'll be brought back, it won't count.
Well, we've heard the referee's whistle. I think 60,000 haven't. Just needs everyone to calm down a little bit now.
Now just crouch and hold, engage.
Now then, a key moment this.
Key moment, big scrum. It's been caught up.
And it's been stolen by Elisaud. They took the gamble.
He's got to put it into touch. That is, the scrum is just, you've got to get a quick strike. I'm sure Sean will talk about it in studio, but if you're under pressure, you want a channel 1 ball, get it out to Colin and gone. You've got Gareth Thomas in the flank there. He doesn't know what he's doing on the flank. He needed his left foot.
Open them up, please. Open them up. Open your guys up.
Just to keep the ball in.
Keep going. Keep going. That's forward advantage.
Again, the French line-out ends up with a red shirt, and Jones will clear.
Advantage over.
We can reflect a little more on that scrum, and it's Pete de Villiers who was creating the trouble.
Guys, you've got to give me the space. You've got to give the space. Take them there, mate.
And we've got 15 minutes to go. And Wales won't find themselves in many better opportunities than that to score points.
Last one, keep going.
So that will have another go. That was better. Palouse. Now the backs can give it a bit of a blast. Josian is behind. Nicolas Brusque. And the chase is on. Rhys Williams was there, and so was Michalak. But it's opening up, isn't it? It's becoming looser. And that might suit the likes of Williams, Rhys and Shane. Wales, though, need the points. Trailing by 11 with 14 minutes to go on the clock. Can they find their man? They can. Owen, who's had a stormer. Llewellyn with the initial burst. Peel to Jones. Harris. Shanklin was busying himself. May well have been Shanklin, who means that Rhys Williams' celebrations are all in vain.
Well, this will be interesting to see if there is any crossing. It was like Spaghetti Junction there for a while, but here we go. Let's see if there's a dummy runner. Yep, there's the block. There is the block.
Well, it was Tom Shanklin coming in on the angle, providing the alternative option, trying to take the eyes of the French defence off what was really happening. And he just got in front of the ball. Williams try, disallowed, and we're back to halfway in a French line-out. Mania at the tail, and again it wasn't straight. Oh, the line-out coaches will be having a sleepless night this evening.
No, I think that was the right call. There we go, as the ball comes out, and Stephen Jones, he takes the ball. There's going to be a run around, but watch, stop it there. That guy has taken 2 players out. If you run it on, and then the inside ball, that is clearly obstruction, crossing, whatever you call it. Shanklin took both players out, which created the space for Rhys Williams to hit that hole. And that's another scrum that's been smashed.
French have made another substitution in the front row. Number 16 right in the middle. Yannick Brou, the Toulouse hooker, has come on to replace his teammate Servat.
Stay on.
Aaron Nordicke off the back. Here's Mania, runs into the other substitution, but Mania still goes. Aaron Nordicke had try outside, and Betson decided to hang on to possession. Welsh defence now back and in order.
Leave it!
Michalak runs into Jones. Vincent Claire's there, as is Bruce. It'll be a French scrum though, and they have been very, very solid from this situation.
It's lovely break again, the back row. When the game opens up, you know, and space, Mania is lethal.
And there's the power of the scrum.
Time out injury, yeah. Yeah, we'll go over here. Guys, you got to keep it up, mate.
There we are. If we just watch the scrum go down, just keep it going, off it goes, run it on. And as the ball comes out, you've got to watch this guy. The ball shoots out, stop it there. This guy there is Gareth Thomas, the full back. Now what he should do is just keep that left foot to kick the ball back in. He doesn't do it, the ball pops out, we run it on. And all of a sudden, you know, that is, I don't understand why he was there. You needed a blindside flanker there to keep the ball in the scrum. It was crucial. I know you can play everywhere in the backs, but I'm sure if you can play in the back row. And that was an opportunity wasted and missed by Wales.
It's a penalty to the French.
They're shearing off, mate. They've got to stay in the scrum. Front row's just shearing off.
Particularly mystifying at a time when the Welsh really are on the back foot in the scrum as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which forward was out in the back line there.
Now this is clinical. The French have got the penalty, and it looks as if they're going to turn the Gallic screw by opting for the 3 points and the penalty. This is the view from our Sky Cam. One of the players in training yesterday were trying to hit it. Not sure if the Beeb would send them the bill, I suspect not. Anyway, Alice Elder and the French have the 3 points, and significantly Wales are now 2 converted tries down, and all the hope and all the expectation of the first half is beginning to fizzle out in the face of a superior scrum. The forwards have taken control, and the French in the final 10 minutes lead Wales by 29 points to 15. The ball went forward off Palouse, who was slipping as he tried to gather the ball, and this is Peel.
Advantage over.
Harris. Jones caught by Mania, but Harris is there again. This is Jenkins. Centre field, they're all lining up to the right-hand side. Peel opted to hang on to possession and reset it. This is Jarvis. Shanklin again offering himself. On that occasion he was doing it legally, and Jonathan Thomas was the option. Shane Williams. French defence that's drilled though by Dave Ellis, the Gloucester coach, standing firm at the moment, and it was Iestyn Harris who just spilt the ball forward. And the French have been training with a newfangled scrum machine that they've imported from American football, and it's paying dividends at the moment.
Yeah, there's a ball, but that's a forward pass. You know, it's sometimes when you throw those long missed passes, it just gives the opposition time to run up and smash the guy who's going to receive it.
Well, there was some concern in the voice of Philippe Saint-André after about half an hour here in Cardiff. I think he's sounding a little chippier now. He's still down on the touchline with Sonia.
Philippe, 2 tries for France in this game, but do you think this contest has ultimately been settled up front?
Yeah, I am sure. I think the scrum of Wales are too weak to win this game, because I am sure Bernard Laporte will be not pleased about the line-out, because the French team lost a lot of ball in line-out, but the scrum was too strong, and I think the key points was Wales have the opportunity to take 3 points, try to take the scrum, lost the ball 80 yards behind, and after game over. And I think the French team knows the confidence will build and build. I am sure that the French team can score one other try.
Another change in the front row. Gethin Jenkins clearly injured, so Gestin Thomas,
He's got it, mate.
he probably thought his day was done, has been brought back on.
That's great depth. Poor passing. They had great depth.
Pass on Clare. The good and the bad. There he is again. Toulouse flyer back in the fold after missing the trip to Australia, Clare. And there's Dominici.
Hands are on, definitely.
Try. Inside to Toulouse.
Play on.
This is Piet de Villiers.
Oh, they're up for it now.
This is Mania, sensing the holes, but Wales have won it back. Shane Williams.
No hands, run!
Well, then they've got everyone lined up to the right-hand side.
Stay back, please. Stay back, please.
Now it goes. Jones senses a big gap on that far right-hand side. And Bruce has to go back, and there's nothing he can do about the kick. And now it will be the opportunity for Wales to pressurise a non-too-secure French line-out, because they need points, they need tries, and they need them pretty damn quick. And the French are being forced into the change at scrum half as well. Ellis Salder's injured. How serious that will be.
There's Ellis, steps back. Oh, and that's the old left fetlock on there. That's a really nasty injury, the old hamstring.
Don't think he'll be shot. There might be a doubt
I don't think
about
so,
the game in Scotland in a couple of weeks.
So the way he's played extremely well.
Yeah, he's helped fill the gap left by Gaultier. The French in Edinburgh in 2 weeks' time, and then, should you need reminding, England in Paris on, well, a little less than Super Saturday now, March the 27th. And Michelet clears. Doesn't find touch. Rhys Williams to his namesake Shane. Shanklin, who is a big centre, comes back inside. Peel. On halfway still. Williams driven back by Pape.
Thank you. Stay last feet, please.
Jones half scrabbled through, and if only he could have found Rhys Williams. There's still plenty of effort from Wales, but it goes forward, and there's this nagging sense now that it's in vain.
Yeah, little things have gone wrong. That's the thing. The basics have gone. They've been a little bit too flat. They've panicked a little bit because they've fallen behind. And that's, although France have made a lot more errors, Wales have just panicked and made errors in crucial positions at crucial times in the game.
It's a face that will be particularly well known down Gloucester way. Dimitri Yashvili here at scrum half as one to replace Ellis Salder.
Stand up. We're back here at the halfway.
Well known to our mate on the touchline as well, Philip Saint-Andre. Yashvili playing under him at Kingsholm.
Time back on. Just crouch and hold. Engage.
French scrum on the halfway.
Here's the half.
Welsh pack just exerting a little pressure of their own all of a sudden.
Run.
Betson
Stay back.
seemed to pull it back with his hands
No
there,
hands.
but the referee Dickinson was happy enough, and
Ruck there.
The Welsh finally win possession, and it's knocked forward by Michalak. He just took his mind off the job for half a second. Either way, Wales will have possession from the scrum.
No ball, stay up please, no ball. No
Chance.
ball, Red.
They need to score now if they want,
No
if they
ball
want to
there,
get
just
back
waiting.
into this game with a chance.
No ball, just waiting. Engage.
Well, they go to Twickenham in 2 weeks,
Come up please, bring them up. Bring them up. Up,
and a try or two here would send them down to
Hold.
London with
Engage.
them. A little bit more of a spring in their step. It's an improvement on Dublin, but that pack has been going backwards too often for comfort in the second half.
They need they do need a quick strike. Just get the ball out of there as quickly as they can.
Off in please, blue half. Hold. Engage. No, sorry. Sorry, my fault. Sorry, my fault. Sorry, my fault. Sorry. My fault, sorry. We're just crouch and hold there, thank you. Engage.
Into the final 5 minutes. Wales needing 2 converted tries to rescue a draw, and there's not been a draw in this fixture since 1974.
Come across. Come over.
Wales would take one now.
If you look at this again, you've got...
Get a bind, please. It's your
You
ball,
can't
get a
see it from
bind.
there, but Jonathan Thomas, his third man out, he's in the centres, Jonathan Thomas, and they've got Gareth Thomas back in the scrum. And when the scrum is struggling, I don't see why you want to put a back in there and take one of your biggest back row forwards out. The back row has got to help the front 5 if the scrum is under pressure, and they're just putting Gareth Thomas in at front full back.
Stay there.
The ball was there somewhere,
Then you come through here.
and a red shirt came in the wrong way, and the French have the penalty. And rather clinically, they've seen this match out in the second half.
Yeah, they've kind of closed shop, and I think now Michalak has missed touch and gone down with cramp.
It's 15 against 14. Michalak struggles to his feet. Gathered in by Yashvili, and now then, chase for the line. Well, for half a second, there were options.
Yeah, just Brewster's
Red 2, sharp.
just too quick for Kerry Sweeney. There's Michalak going down with cramp. He hasn't played for a couple of weeks. Yashvili, rather casual. Kicker's kind of charged out.
62 minutes with number 2, Mervyn Davis.
And the Welsh have changed their hooker as well. There's the new man, Hugh Bennett, 20-year-old who was expecting to play for the under-21s yesterday, but poor old Robin McBride was struck down by the bug. He was brought in.
It's interesting because he's not first choice at the club where he is, and yet he's on the bench for Wales. So
Well, he's done no better than the previous 2 who've been having a go to find their men in the line-out.
turnover here, Martin Williams.
Stay there. Play on.
Having won the turnover, the French seem to win it back, but Stuart Dickinson has the French for offside, and there's an urgency now about Wales.
Play back, it's not 10.
2.5 minutes to go. Shanklin is their time
Stay back.
for another score. Jones, neat play with Sweeney. Jones is through, and surely they'll score, and they will! And Martin Williams says a word. He says, how about picking me, because I'll score you tries. The conversion should be simple, and there is still time for Wales.
Great hands once again to create the space. As the ball goes out, Stephen Jones, Kerry Sweeney, great hands Kerry Sweeney, sucks the defenders, good support, good pass by Stephen Jones. Here we go. Watch the hands by Kerry Sweeney. Sucks in again. It's a prop forward in the line. Gets his numbers mixed up. You watch. There's the substitution. 17. I think it's Krenker. Steps inside. Doesn't read the run around. Martin Williams on support. Good try. Can they salvage? They've converted it. Can they salvage a draw?
29-22. If you were thinking of heading off for a cup of tea, just delay it for a couple of minutes, because Wales are back in this. Just over a minute to go. A converted try to square things up. Referee's whistle goes. Let's get the RBS man of the match out of the way. Jonathan.
Well, I think, for overall performance, it's got to be, number 9, Jean-Baptiste Elissard. He's gone off, but my RBS Six Nations man of the match today, Jean-Baptiste Elissard. Kicked the goal, scored the try, overall play, got to give it to him.
24 of France's 29 points. And at the moment, he's the difference between these two teams. Into the final minute. Wales need the ball. They've got a penalty.
Now then, last chance.
Hammer this down as close as they can towards the corner flag.
And I don't think they can they? They haven't got time. They've only got 10 seconds left. They've got to keep the ball in place. They've got to run. And they've lost it. They've lost it. Again, poor in the contact area, but they've got it back. They've got to run it again.
Well, he won't blow the whistle, the referee, Stuart Dickinson, although we've entered time added on. If there's a penalty, and there still is, and Wales have this last opportunity. The next time the ball goes dead, the referee will blow the whistle. Wales in the last chance salute. Bennett goes down. They're on halfway. The whistle goes and they've got another penalty.
Well, we know what they've got to do anyway.
Well, we're enjoying some late drama here that perhaps we weren't expecting. Much more character from Wales, and they've still not given this up. Peel caught by Pape. Now they need to secure the ball. There's Williams, the try scorer. He did well, rode out of the tackle. Jones supports there. Centre field. Wales split to the right and the left. They go left. This is Rhys Williams. They're playing the advantage. And this is Owen. They're up to the 22.
Got a chance.
Peel, Williams. Big tackle from Brusque.
Oh, wrong way.
Peel.
They've got to go right.
The ball.
They've got to go right. They've got no one on the left. It's got to go quick.
Williams. Oh, if someone was on his shoulder there. Still they play on.
This ball is going into the stand.
The French have it. Try to touch. The whistle to the referee's mouth. And the French breathe one huge sigh of relief. Martin Williams, so close to one of those extraordinary comebacks in the Six Nations, but just not good enough.
No, too little, too late, I feel. Great character, great resilience to come back, but they made too many basic errors midway through that game. They let the game go away just before and half time, and the gap was too big to come back. But a vastly improved performance. But the scrum again was the Achilles heel, wasn't it? They had opportunity, but they were disrupted. They could have scored a try from the scrum. They conceded a try from the scrum. You've got, like yesterday, you've got to get the set piece right. Otherwise, you're going to make it difficult for yourselves. So France have come over here, and they've deserved to win.
And at the end of this weekend of shocks in the Six Nations, for one team at least, the Grand Slam still remains very much on. Wales 22, France 29.
Well, just when you were about losing interest, I'm thinking, shall I turn over? What a barnstorming finish that was. Fantastic stuff. And, just for a sneaking moment, you thought it might finish 29 apiece. But the bands that have come over from France are going to be playing into the early hours of the morning, because France played 3, won 3, and they're still on course, as Nick said, for the Grand Slam. And I suppose you could say really that it was too little too late for the end for Wales when that try was scored by Martin Williams. Early on, it was a goal-kicking competition between Stephen Jones and Elissalde, and it was 4-2 to the Welsh until this try that we don't think the French had kind of called. But anyway, the break from Michalak and the ball out to Harinordaki, who scores right on the stroke of half-time. That meant the French went in 13-12 to the good. And then this was the key moment. And was it a forward pass from Serge Betsen? Well, the touch judge and the referee were very close to it, and Elissalde had the pace to score and also to convert his own try. And by that point, 26-15 it was. Then it was 29-15. Then this late show from Wales. That was a super break. Lovely pass from Kerry Sweeney. Martin Williams with the try. The conversion put them within 1 score, but no matter how many penalties they were given, they couldn't quite scramble a draw, and that meant that France won it. And so there's confirmation that they are on top with a 100% record. England and Ireland in second place, Wales and Italy 2 apiece, and Scotland at the moment, you would think anyway, favourites for the wooden spoon. Scotland-France next time. Scotland are the team that can derail France's Grand Slam hopes. So there's all the statistics. Things very, very even. 23. Actually, look how many errors France made in the second half compared to the first. Turnovers 11 apiece. And I suppose one of the interesting statistics is going to be the line out, because certainly the Welsh seem to be, well, it says there only lost where's the line out? They're not there at the moment. Where are we? Line out, can't see him. Anyway, but 53-47, 52-48. It was a very even match in terms of possession and time in opponent's half, but ultimately France just about did enough.